Good afternoon. Welcome to the final session for Saturday, Parker Gold Coast. Are we still having fun? Woo! I'm really honoured to invite this next speaker up to the stage. Dr. Jason Deitch and I are actually classmates from Life University 20 years ago. And I'm really happy to see that he actually hasn't changed at all. He is still his charming, cruisy, laid-back self, but has accomplished so much. One of the things that he has accomplished is he is the founding member of Amplified. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but he will discuss that in his next talk. Who's on Facebook? LinkedIn? Twitter? Well, Dr. Deitch is going to teach you how to use that effectively without being on it all day and checking it 50 times a day. So I'm actually excited to hear. Dr. Jason Deitch.
Thank you, Jerry. It's been 20 years. How it took me to get to see you again like this? I had to come down under. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for this last session. I'm Dr. Jason Deitch, and let me just start off by saying it's a real pleasure to be here with you. I'll also start off by acknowledging and thanking Dr. Brian McCulley, Dr. Mark Mandel, Rolly, Craig, and the entire team at the Australian Spinal Research Foundation for having me. I appreciate being voted onto the island. And hopefully we'll be able to do many more of these. Can you hear me okay? Everybody's good? All right. So our topic today is how to use social media effectively in 2 minutes per day. And I'd actually like to add to that in 2 minutes per day or less. So I got a lot of questions. In fact, when I was doing our video upload, one of the first things I saw Ben, all of you know Ben, doing a great job. He goes, Amplified, oh my God, I'm glad you're here. I need to understand this thing. Which I said, I like you a lot. I'm glad to be here too. And thank you for the warm welcome. So I'm one of those speakers, as it says in the description, I would love to make this a little bit more workshop style. Is that okay with you? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions. If you have questions for me, please ask as we go. The goal is for me not to just inspire you. It's not for me to just sort of disseminate a bunch of information. As we were talking about just a few moments ago, I want you to walk out of here experts. And so if there's something you need to know, you want to know, if there's a gap, if there's a concern, if there's a yeah, but, let's talk about it. Is that fair? Yeah, okay. And I'm one of those speakers that asks a lot of questions, so the more you engage with me and give me some feedback, I really appreciate that as well. So let me start off by asking you several questions. First of all, how many of you have ever heard me speak or know anything about who I am, my background? Awesome. All right. No, this is good. I appreciate it. I do get the opportunity to speak at a lot of different places, primarily in America. I will share my full story tomorrow. Hopefully you'll join me. It's a fascinating story. It's been an amazing journey. I was in practice for close to 10 years in Northern California for quite a while. I'll give, as I said, my full background about my experience in social media and I guess what qualifies me to be here. But I want to know a few things from you. This to me is workshop style. Tomorrow is going to be my motivational talk to get you to apply everything you hopefully learn here today. Does that sound fair? Right on. So, Sherry asked a little bit earlier, I want to get some visuals from up here. How many people here use Facebook on a regular basis by a show of hands? Okay. Just so I see, is there anybody that does not use Facebook on any kind of regular basis by a show of hands? One. Okay, there's always a few. Two, three. Great. Okay. Now, let me ask you, just because the details matter, how many of you use Facebook for your practices, to promote your practice, to outstanding, okay? And again, how many do not, just so I can get a good sense and visual, do not use it to promote your, okay. How many of you feel that you are competent and confident in your strategies and your approach in what you're doing to promote your practice on Facebook? And that's exactly the topic we need to address here today. Perfect. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm in the same room, you're in the right room, and so on. That's good. So there's some statistics I'll show you. I'm going to refer to social media as Facebook, but please allow me the liberty just to sort of up front let you know that I am referring to Twitter, LinkedIn, and a variety of other social networks, but instead of having to say everyone every time, and instead of really referring to all of them, as I'll show you in some statistics, Facebook really is, as they say, the 800-pound gorilla, right? It's kind of the one. What I'll teach you will easily apply to all of the others, or I should say several of the others. But I will refer to Facebook as social networks. Is that fair? Good? Okay. So I get a lot of excuses when it comes to Facebook. I can see how many people here are practicing chiropractors versus staff. So chiropractors, all right, dynamite, and staff. That seems to be about 50-50, if anything more staff. Is there anybody here who's not either a chiropractor or staff? Students, outstanding. Okay, perfect, thank you. So, excuses, questions, and so on and so forth. Let me give you a little bit of the premise as to where I'm coming from with all of this. How many of you believe that chiropractic might be considered the best kept secret in the world? I mean, there's some secrets out there, but this is definitely one of the best kept secrets, wouldn't you say? And how many of you have any real good reason as to why that is? I mean, I've been around this profession for 25 plus years. As I said, I'll go into my history a little bit more tomorrow, but does anybody else wonder, what's the deal? What's going on? Do you have a question, sir? Because we keep it to ourselves, exactly, okay? What's the deal? How is it that people don't understand what you do in your office? How is it that people don't understand, even when they come in your office, the magic, the beauty, the brilliance, the value of what's possible if they continue care with you, right? Isn't it a mystery? You ever sometimes wonder to yourself, how is it that, are we that much smarter than the rest of the world? Right? I saw, Dr. McCauley at the very beginning, he's like, well, people are stupid. I actually used to think that for a while, right? The other one I came to the conclusion of being in practice, right? You give a phenomenal report of findings, you explain to them, you show them their subluxation station, their x-rays, they've got all kinds of issues and so on. You did a report of findings as good as B.J. Palmer could of himself, and they go, well, let me go think about it. And you can only come to the conclusion either that they're stupid or that they just don't care about their health. Right? And so I believed that for quite a while. Does that make sense? Right? Like, if they're not taking my care plan, something must be up. And what I realized was what this gentleman said a few moments ago is the reality is we are just not sharing the message with people in a way that they can understand it. Right? And when we do share the message, what tends to be our focus? When we share our message on an individual basis, usually we're sharing it in a way in which we want what? More new patients. And sharing a message to get more new patients is sometimes different than really inspiring people to understand the value of what we do. Isn't that true? I'm going to show you some examples of how we are actually the ones who are at cause. We are the ones who are responsible in this day and age for people not understanding what it is that we do as chiropractors. And my hope, the reason I'm happy to travel on the other side of the world, why I do this basically full time, is because it really is my dream, my vision, my mission, to really empower us as a profession to understand how to use today's technologies to really be able to, I'll say, change the world. I still have that idealism. Anybody else still, I guess, foolish enough, young enough, naive enough to think one person can make a difference? Perhaps collectively, we might in fact be able to make shift happen. Me too. So let's do something about it. So I hear all kinds of questions. I heard it a few moments ago. I'm scared of Facebook. I just don't know what to do. From chiropractors all the time, I hear, I'm just too old for that stuff. It's not my generation. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I want to inspire you to reconsider that, please. Because my question for you is, if somebody were to offer you and your practice your own TV station, your own TV channel, right? If that was possible, if somebody said to you, look, I'd like to give you your own TV station where you can broadcast anything you'd like across the airwaves so that millions of people can see it. Would you go, I don't like TV. I don't watch it. I don't like it. There's commercials, I'm just not into that kind of thing. Anybody? Because that's what we do when we say, nah, I don't like Facebook. I don't care what somebody had for breakfast this morning. I hear it all the time, right? Like, I'm not into Facebook. That's not for me. My answer is, too bad. This is not about whether you want to use this or not as a way in which you should connect with other people. That's not my goal, as to whether you personally should be connecting with your friends about where you're on vacation and what you had for breakfast and your latest workout and smoothie and all that stuff. I'm not here to persuade you to waste time connecting with friends on Facebook. I am here to do everything I possibly can to persuade you to realize that you've got a message that people in your community, collectively, people in our world, are dying to hear. And I don't care what it takes. I don't care what technology you have to use. I'm here to try to inspire you to realize that it's time to get over your prejudices and issues. Whether you like it or not, as far as I'm concerned, isn't the issue, and I'm asking you to get over it. If somebody said, I'm going to give you your own radio station, you can say anything you want, 24/7. It's your radio station. In fact, it doesn't even cost you a penny. You know, I don't like radio. You know those dials, you got to turn them. I mean, I don't think so. If somebody said, I'm going to give you your own newspaper. You can publish as much as you want, as often as you want, use as much ink as you'd like to, as much paper as you'd like to. You can say anything you want to as many people as you'd like to. Would your response be, you know, I don't like newspapers. I like my iPad. I don't like the ink on my hands, right? What excuse would we have if somebody gave us a megaphone, an amplifier, to be able to share our message with the world? And that's the position I'd like for you to think of Facebook, because here's the reality of what's going on in the world. I'm not happy about it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But I am saying two things here. If you look at this picture, it says a lot. Number one, we all do it. Number two, we are going to have a population of people that are going to be dying for chiropractic because they're... And number three, I want you to think of Facebook in a new way. I want you to think of your message being in their face. Every time you hear the word Facebook, every time you see somebody crossing the street, waiting to get hit, doing this, right? It's crazy what goes on. You were at dinner last night, and two man and woman, beautiful couple sitting there. What are they doing? Now, I'm not saying that's a great thing. There's all kinds of social norms I think we're violating that are pretty bad. I am saying that this is where people's face is stuck. And if we have a message, if you have a message, whether it's your practice individually, whatever it is, if you want to get your message out to the masses, there's really one major way to do that today. And guess what that is? Okay? So when you go to Starbucks or wherever you are in line, at the airport, and you see people staring at their hands, I want you to start thinking, I should have my message there. And more importantly, and this is where I want to hopefully expand the concept. I know most of you have your vision of what Facebook is and isn't and so on. But I want you to realize not only is the goal and objective for you to get your message in front of people, it's to get your message in front of people who will then share it with other people. And that's what makes Facebook the power tool that it is. All right? I can't watch a television show and share that show with lots of people by simply watching TV and changing the channel. I can't listen to a radio station and go, this is awesome, and share that radio program with somebody else just by simply pressing a button. Are you with me? Does this make sense? The power tool, the reason why changing the world and getting the chiropractic message to the masses can happen now and not ever before is because it's never been easy for people to share what they like with their friends. This, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, is the absolute best technology and tool our profession could ever ask for two reasons. One, if you go to Facebook and you read their mission statement, does anybody know what it is? Facebook's mission is to connect the world. Facebook's mission is to connect the world. What's our mission as chiropractors within the body? To connect our bodies. This is so philosophically congruent, it's amazing. The idea of connecting everybody in the world, the idea of connecting the cells of the body with clear communication could not, in fact, be better. All right? So there is a very philosophically congruent concept going on here. Number two, Facebook and phones is going to create an endless need of chiropractic care for the next generation and those to come. Fair enough, right? So, Facebook is your best friend. Is that fair? Can I get you all to get over the fear and feel that this is something we should lean into, get involved with, learn how to use, embrace. Now, for those chiropractors that don't necessarily, there's a spectrum of us. There's those of us that are really passionate. We like to go out and do talks. We get excited about sharing the message. Yes? How many of you get excited about sharing the message? Absolutely. I'm like you. There's others that just, for whatever reason, don't want to deal with this stuff. All right? How many of you are willing to say, like, I know I need to figure something out. I don't really want to deal with it. I am going to, nobody wants to admit that. I know there's a few of you. I'm going to teach you, and my goal for you is to learn enough about what this is, learn enough about what's possible, learn enough about the potential of what needs to happen, so that if you want to do it yourself, you can. 2 minutes a day or less, 10 minutes per week or less. But if you want to delegate it to somebody, you can, but at least you know what you're delegating. So many times I get calls or emails from chiropractors I know, friends that go, you know, I know you told me this, I'm sorry, but my office manager just left. And we've got all these people on our Facebook thing, and I don't even know how to log into it. Anybody heard of something like that happening? Okay? Now, this, I'm just telling you, is the equivalent of having your office manager call the phone company to set up your phone number in their name because you don't want to deal with it, knowing that at some point in time, should he or she ever leave, they're the ones with the keys to the castle. How crazy would that be? This would mean very crazy, very crazy. It'd be insane. It'd be stupid. It'd be nuts. So know enough so that you know what it is that you're delegating. So let's get into some stuff. Okay. So rumor has it Facebook's pretty big here in Australia. Yes? Yeah, it's the big one. Now there's a couple others on there, and I'm going to teach you how to make it super easy. But basically, worldwide, there's no question, far and away, Facebook is the social network of the world. How many of you heard, had a couple of you approach me over the weekend as well. How many of you heard Dr. Guy Reekman speak at the New Zealand College and present Amplified? All right. There's a mission to this thing here that I'm going to be sharing with you here today. I actually have the pleasure, I'll say honor, of working with Dr. Guy Reekman at Life University. And one of the projects that we're collaborating on. It's my project, but he sees the vision of it. He's basically the grandfather of patient education, sees the vision of using this technology to change the world, to bring chiropractic to the world. One of the important parts about what I'm going to share with you here today is that it really is part of a bigger mission. This is one of those tools. It's one of those things. I'm just setting things up. You're going to learn everything you need to know, I promise. But this is one of those win-win-win situations. This is one of those things where if you want to grow your practice, if you want to make more money, you want to see more people, you want to serve more people, this will help you do it. If you have that sense that you want to be part of a movement that changes the world, imagine if 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 chiropractors worldwide were trained to simply click a button and share something great about the chiropractic message with their local community every single day. For free. Now let me just make sure everybody's clear. Every single thing I'm teaching you here today is free. It costs you nothing but doing this. Any excuses or objections? I'm being facetious, but it's true. This is what it takes in about that much time. So I hope that you get a sense that this is not only doable, but imagine if not only we, but the people we know started participating and clicking the button every day. That's the mission. And quite honestly, that's my goal. I have no problem saying, I want to persuade each and every one of you by the end of the day to create a free account on what I'm going to show you and start clicking at least once every single day. You want to schedule it out for a week, that's great. But the mission, the goal, the objective is for tens of thousands of chiropractors around the world to share something great with your practice's social networks each and every day. Fair? Good? Yeah? Full disclosure? All right. Do I have any questions, concerns, thoughts, feedbacks, yeah, buts, comments, statements, thoughts? Yes, we're good? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. That's correct. Well, if no one stops and looks at it, there is no point. And the objective, of course, is to share things that are of value to people, right? And so that is the hard part. We will address it, is how do you share something that people actually care about, right? And I'm going to suggest that there's two approaches to that we will cover and go through. One way to approach it is, how do I make sure that people hear what it is I want them to know about chiropractic, right? Because it's fair to say that most people are relatively clueless. Fair enough. And those that think they know about chiropractic are most often probably not accurate, right? So part of this game is for us to share what we want people to know about what it is that we do. The other part of this game is to, in fact, put things there that will get them to stop. And there's, I'll say, an art to that, and I'll go through some of that as well, but it's a great question. The other part to your question, which I'll address because it's part of the psychology behind all of this, is that many chiropractors are plagued by what I call the chiropractor's paralyzed. We're paralyzed because the thought process is, why am I wasting my time sharing things, finding things, and sharing things when I don't have that many people on my Facebook page to begin with? Right? So some of you have Facebook pages. Very few of you feel confident about what you're doing. If I were to ask you or to ask yourself how many people are on your Facebook page, I'm guessing there's a range between 0 and 25, 25 and 100, most of those being friends and family, right? And people from perhaps high school or your previous life that just happened to find there. But how do you really turn Facebook into a movement? How do you turn your Facebook page into a wellness resource center that people actually look for and are enthusiastic to share, right? And the answer to the paradox, why would I waste my time if I don't have that many people who are on my Facebook page, is to flip that and reverse that, which is how will you ever get people to your Facebook page until you invest the time to put some decent stuff there that they actually care about. Does that make some sense? So we're going to address exactly that paradox, and hopefully we will no longer be paralyzed by that. Yes? Uh-huh. If they were to press a like button, that would violate that? Does anybody else want to corroborate that story? I'm not an attorney, but that's not my understanding. There's lots of... Yeah, okay. There you have it. Okay? Of your clinical expertise. Are liking your Facebook page. Yeah? Okay. Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to give you the official ruling on that, but there are thousands of them out there from what I've seen. I've done some research. But you do have to use common sense, and you should know your laws. All right, so let's get into understanding this stuff. My goal today is for you to learn how to use these technologies to turn these technologies, and I'm using these words importantly here, into an automatic new patient referral machine. And I want to start off by letting you know that to me there's a distinction between new patients and referred new patients. Would you agree? Oh yeah. And so You've got limited time, limited bandwidth, limited mind space, limited mind share. You've got to prioritize where you're investing any energy, even if it does cost nothing. And so what I'm suggesting for you, and there's a lot of ways to approach Facebook. I had some people asking me, well, what about Facebook advertising? And what about posts? And what about all kinds of different things? I want to help. I'm going to share with you what I think of as sort of the protocol to prioritize what I believe is your highest quality type of person to come into your practice, which to me is a referral. All right? And a referral is somebody basically, obviously, who comes in because of somebody who already knows, likes you, and trusts you, said, I think he or she is terrific. And they inquire about you. But I want you to go through the process right now of understanding, let's get this right here. So the premise that we're talking on here, right, is if more people knew about you, more people would come to see you. Is that a fair premise? Pretty fair, right? But if more of the right people came to see you, right, to me there's a difference between somebody that goes to a search engine, types in chiropractor Gold Coast, and looks through, I'm going to show you in a moment. There's a difference in the type of questions, the type of enthusiasm they have if they go to a search engine to randomly find somebody versus seeing a friend who already goes to see you, who maybe talks about you, that you then learn about and then inquire about. Is that fair? So I want you to understand the differences of how you do those things. So I did that search while I was here. I was down at Starbucks just a couple days ago. And I did exactly that. I typed in, just like I'm a new patient, I want you to put your mindset, not as a chiropractor, not as a CA, but as somebody looking for a chiropractor. Now, let me start with the most important question. In real life, if you were looking for a service provider, if you were looking for a lawyer, an accountant, a pediatrician, an oncologist, a psychologist, a marriage family counselor, if you were looking for an accountant, what would you really do yourself if you were looking for somebody like that? How would you find somebody if you were looking for a professional? Thank you. So I want to first distinguish that most people, your ideal new client, in my opinion, is not coming from a search engine. Why? Who's the person? What's the concept? What's the consciousness of somebody who doesn't necessarily ask their friends? Now, granted, you've got the population of people who are brand new in town and know nobody. Okay, let's disqualify them. And even then, they'll probably ask people. Okay? What's the mindset of somebody that goes to a search engine, types in chiropractor, your town? What's their mindset? Pardon? Okay? Is this somebody who's looking for lifestyle chiropractic care? Okay? Locus, right. So how do you think about, right? So this is what I want you, how many of you, and I just want to qualify, I'm the type of chiropractor, and I promote the type of chiropractic that to me is what I'll call lifetime lifestyle care. Is that fair? Okay? I know that there's some that just want to get people who are hurt, in pain, and get them out as quickly as possible. And a search engine might be a perfect tool for exactly that. However, I'm really referring to those chiropractors like myself who are a little bit frustrated with the fact that people come in expecting quick pain relief when my real goal for them is to understand and embrace a lifestyle of being more connected to them, their body, their universal intelligence, whatever your explanation of how you want to know living subluxation free is, right? So, if you're the type of practice that wants to attract more people that want lifestyle type chiropractic and not somebody who doesn't have any friends, is looking for the closest chiropractor, is perhaps looking for the cheapest deal, right? Then we probably should be looking at other strategies than just how do I rank highest on Google. Is that fair? Does that make sense? Because when I talk about these things, many people go, oh, internet marketing. Oh, how do I get on the first page of Google? As if that's going to all of a sudden be the holy grail of flooding your office with new patients. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying that's not going to attract your ideal new client. Fair? Fair? What will attract your ideal new client? How many of you saw Brad Glowacki speak in the last session? He's a great friend, terrific guy. We're actually doing a program together at Guy's Ranch in September. But Brad does an outstanding job. And there's a bunch of different things I'm going to dissect here. But one of the first things is, hopefully this works, is that when you go to a Facebook page, you see what? How many of your friends already like that page? All right? You also look for these nice things, right? So when nobody stops, it's because there's something they're not seeing that gets them to stop. So we have to address all of these issues. So let's take a quick look here. I did look. I went to Google, in fact. I saw a couple local chiropractors. I clicked on their ads. I clicked on their websites. And then I clicked on their Facebook pages. Now you tell me, if I were moving to town and I were doing exactly that, and I saw these two Facebook pages, who am I choosing and why? Right? So I've got this practice, and is anybody here? Are these chiropractors in the room by chance? No? Okay, just checking. So this chiropractor has 556, whatever that says, people that like him. And I've got 13 friends that are connected to that page. Okay, so I know some people. If I were to look at several pages, I would look for a place where I know people go, yes? However, look at what's going on here. Oh, Rolly likes this guy. Guess where I'm going? I'm walking in, either I'm calling Rolly, or I'm walking in there and going, guess who I know? And that to me is a whole different experience than just going, tell me about your $45 special, please. Oh, wait, no. I'm going here, it's only 40 bucks. Do you understand the psychology? Am I effectively communicating the difference between going, let's see. Now, you've got the randomness of geography. Somebody mentioned geography. I get it. Nobody wants to go that far. However, how many people, this is an important point I think to make, just for the psychology of all this. We'll get into which buttons to press when, I promise you. But there's an important psychology to understand here. And that is that people are not buying chiropractic. They're buying you. How do I know that? How many people have patients, members, people, whatever you want to refer to them as, come to your practice that will pass 5, 10, 15, 20 different chiropractors to get to your office? Yes? Yes, yes, yes? Why would they do that? How many of you drive past 10, 15, 20 gas stations to get gas, unless it's significantly cheaper? No? It's time to get gas, what do? You pull over. It's a commodity. We are in the serving people business. And who you are is what people are buying. Your energy, your vibration, your love, your attention to detail, your passion for service, and of course, your clinical skills. And it's essential. There's nobody I know that can communicate those things in this type of format. Are you with me? Again, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying don't be crazy enough to think that doing this is going to get you what you really want, which is, in my opinion, an automatic new patient referral machine. A consistent stream of people that are being referred to you automatically. In some cases, not even knowing it. Rolly doesn't know that he referred me to this place. He has no idea. Are you with me? Is this making some sense? Are some connections starting to be made? Yes? Okay. So, this is the value of being able to work with Facebook. So, this is a 3-step process. Let's get into now what we're doing and how to do it. I think of this as the triune. We know the triune of life, yes? Okay, if there's there's any piece missing, we are not fully connected. Intelligence, force, matter, we got a problem. Yes, sir? Yes. It is, and I'm going to get right into it. Great question. Thank you for asking, and I'm good with questions, so thank you. But this is the triune. So I know plenty of people that say to me, oh, I've tried Facebook, it didn't work. Okay? Oh, I hired a company, they tried some stuff, it didn't really work. Okay? Let me explain something to you about that consciousness. It's like somebody saying, I tried the telephone and it didn't work. My phone doesn't ring. The phone doesn't work. Okay? It's a tool that works as well as you know how to use it. So there are people that have this same device that literally make billions of dollars, billions with a B, of dollars with this device. And I would say that's a pretty good return on their investment, wouldn't you? There are other people that have the same exact device and it sits there like a brick. Nobody knows what number to call. If they do call it, they don't know what to say when they answer it. They don't know how to use the tool. Facebook is just a tool. It works as well as you know how to use it. So this, I'm telling you, is the secret. It's the protocol. It is the triune. It is the three things you need to put into place to make this idea work. Yes? And we're going to dissect them in the next hour. And the first one is, as our gentleman asked just a moment ago, is how do you set up your practice's Facebook page for success? So let's make a distinction. I am not referring to your personal profile. Does everybody know the difference between a profile and a page? Is there anybody that doesn't know the difference between a profile and a page? Be honest. Yes, we don't. Okay. So, for those that are new to Facebook, you sign up for Facebook as a person, as an individual. And as an individual, you have what's called a profile. Okay? Think of that as sort of your passport into the community. All right? That is you as an individual. Now, there's all kinds of questions. Nobody's asked them yet, and I won't go into detail if it's not necessary. But some of the objections are, well, I don't want to use Facebook because I don't want people to see my personal life, my private stuff. So I don't want to use this for my business because I like to use it personally. The way you solve for all of those issues is by doing what Facebook tells you to do, and is their sort of terms of service, which is you create a profile for you as an individual. You set up your privacy settings so anybody you don't want to see your personal information doesn't see it. And then you set up a page for your practice. Is that all clear for everybody? Okay. So, I'm referring to pages on everything I'm talking about. I'm not talking about personal profiles. So let's just be clear. So, for your practices page, when I go through and I see most chiropractic practices page, this is about what they look like. And they're usually the same people that say, I tried Facebook and it didn't work. So I like to say you've got to put your best face forward on Facebook. When people go to your Facebook page, they need to see something that welcomes them, greets them, and gives them a sense of what it is they should expect. And I'm going to show you some examples of good versus bad. So, in some cases, they put nothing there. Some people are proud of their building, I guess. I don't know. These are great examples. These are great examples of the doctor telling the staff, do that Facebook thing. The staff being so overwhelmed, they barely in many cases know how to answer the phone, let alone put time and energy into a Facebook thing that the doctor isn't going to hold them accountable to. So when the doctor goes, did you get us on Facebook? I saw that guy Jason speak. He said, we got to be on it. Are we on it? They go, yes, we are. We're on it. And the doc goes, good. See? And I see you at a seminar. And they go, no. My staff tells me we're all good. And you're not so good. Okay? So, number one, you've got to put your best face forward on Facebook. You want to have something that's going to welcome them to your Facebook page. And I'm going to teach you in part 3 that you should think of your Facebook page as a wellness resource center for your community. Okay? Let's make an important distinction right now. Most people, when I say Facebook, think of marketing. Right? Would that be fair to say? Right? You go, oh, that's a marketing thing I should be doing. So what I'm going to suggest to you is that if you think of it as a marketing tool, your consciousness is, how do I spend the least to get the most? Because something that's about marketing is usually about getting. Am I right? All right? I put out an ad, I did an article, I did a screening, I did a talk. How many did I get? And I'm going to tell you there's an entirely different consciousness, attitude, which leads to entirely different results if your attitude is not about how much are you getting, but how much are you giving. So everything I'm sharing with you here today has everything to do with how much value can you give to your community, to your existing people who love you enough and who you're going to make it so easy that all they have to do is click one button so they can share you with everybody they know each and every single day. Because if you follow the protocol, you're going to be creating an endless stream of people who are going to be sharing you, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Yes, that's just the way it works. So, the answer is yes. People work with people. Putting your face here in this area, or your family, or your team, to me is the right thing to do. All right? People don't care about your building. They don't care about your logo. They don't care about your whatever caduceus I see somebody put, like a chiropractic. I'm sorry, that's not selling anybody on anything. Okay? So, questions here. Bad Facebook pages, good cover pages. Yes? Questions, we're good? Simple and easy. Terrific. Okay, here are some other examples. Now, these formats, to me, are what I believe are the best templates to choose from. Feel free to copy them. I'm going to show you resources where you can get them yourself for free. The point is to welcome them and give them some context as to what this thing is. This isn't just a marketing tool. This is your gift to your community. It's your resource center. It's the place where you can ask questions. It's the place where you can learn more about local wellness resources and reviews. When we buy things today right now, what's usually the first thing we do? We go to the internet, we do a search of some sort, and we look for reviews. That's what we do. That's our mindset. Even if you ask a friend and they verbally give you a referral, what will you sometimes do? Go look them up and see what their reviews are. You will look for them on Facebook. You want to do your research. Most people do their research on their condition, who you are. They know your history. They know who you know before they ever walk into your office. Yes? All right. So, the last part I'm going to share with you here that I think is critically important is this concept here. How are you going to get people to show up? How are you going to build your Facebook page? How are you going to turn your Facebook page into an unstoppable movement? And the answer is by sharing with people a daily dose of inspiration. How do you get people to stop? By sharing with them something that gets them to stop. Does that make sense? Yes? As my good friend Mark Victor Hansen says, yes or yes? All right. So, step one, you've got to put your best face forward on Facebook. It's simple, it's easy. You can go to websites like Fiverr. You can hire people to do it, but don't cheap out. You never get a second chance to make a great first impression. There's a difference between walking to an Apple store and everywhere else. It matters. These things matter. It's your first impression. So give them a wonderful welcome that gives them an understanding of what options and resources they have available for them. Before I go to step two, do I have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns? Yes, sir. Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't believe so because I don't think of it as push marketing. I think of it as permission marketing because you're inviting them to opt in. Okay? And they can opt out at any time. Okay? That's a great question. Yes, sir. I think the answer is in your question, which is yes. What's the number? More. Right? I mean, if I say it's 10, that doesn't mean stop. All right? So the attitude is, when have you given enough service? When have you shared enough with enough people in your community? Some people go, well, I'm done. Others, if I'm alive, if I'm breathing, I'm sharing. That's what I'm here on this planet to do. And if you're done, then you delegate somebody on your team to keep on going with it. You with what I'm saying? It's an amplifier, as far as I'm concerned, and that's my point. The psychology is not here, well, let me try it for a little bit and see how it works. Right? That's like when you give somebody a long-term care plan and they go, I'll tell you what, let me do a couple visits, see how I feel, and I'll gauge my results from there. If that's their response, they don't get it. Right? Yes, ma'am. That's a great question. If you had a gun to your head and you could only choose one, I would choose this. That's not the case. So you do both. But it's important, it's a great question. It's important to understand the psychology of websites versus Facebook pages. Websites are destinations. You have a website these days, and things evolve and change. Okay, this will too. Where we are in this general time period is people go to search engines, they want to find a website. The resource is there, just so we're clear, so they can see your face, they can get a description of perhaps what service is, they can see where you're located, what your hours are, what your phone number is, and they leave. The problem with that is end of relationship. Done. The reason why I push Facebook is because that's the beginning of your relationship. Because if you're looking for more of a lifestyle type of a practice, people don't make decisions immediately to come on in. It's a lifestyle choice. People who are in pain and can't go to work, they make choices immediately. And if that's the type of people you want in your practice full time, great. But if you want to build more lifestyle type people, then you've got to give them the opportunity to keep on learning more, keep on learning more, keep on learning more, because people buy when they are ready. You with me? Okay. Great question. So the questions we have to ask are, you see these signs everywhere. Find us on Facebook. And many of you, I'm sure, if I look in your offices, will have big signs that say, find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Right? And the question is, what do you want them to find? That's all well and good, but when they get there, what should they see? And this is the number one hardest part about making this thing work, is what should they find when they get there? It is a hassle. It is difficult, I'll dare say virtually impossible, for most practicing chiropractors to come up with really good stuff that will get them to stop, pay attention, care enough themselves, let alone share it with somebody else. Right? That's why we have not yet really reached the mountaintop. And that's exactly what we're going to solve for here today. So, there are 3 styles of posts. 3 styles of posts. 1, there's what I refer to as a daily dose of inspiration. You think of this as a chocolate kiss, not a chocolate bar. Your job's not to tell them the entire chiropractic story necessarily. It's to give them a little morsel of truth. It's the positive version of Chinese drip torture. Eventually, they're going to come to see you because you finally inspired them. Are you with me? You finally got them. When is it going to be? What's the number? How many posts? We have no idea. It's different for everybody. Just keep sharing something great with your practice of social networks each and every day. Is that a fair request? It costs nothing. Please just share something great with your practice of social networks each and every day. The question, as I said, the hard part is, where do you find it? These are the 3 types of posts. 1, a daily dose of inspiration. 2, you want to create connection between your office and your community. And you usually do that through events. How many people do events on a regular basis of some sort? Okay. How many people struggle to get people to attend those events on a regular basis? Probably about the same number of people doing events. How many people struggle getting not only people to their events, but guests to their events, right? Referrals, other people, their friends' friends. These are ways in which to make it simple and easy to do it. We'll show you specific examples in a moment. And then last, recommendations and reviews. We have learned to now check people out by looking for other people's reviews on your care and the things you recommend. So how about if we were to have thousands of chiropractors sharing Heidi Havok's work each and every day? Would that be cool? Right? Not $45 first visit necessarily. Not we'll get you out of pain faster than anybody else. But something along the lines of, did you know that dysfunction in the spine disrupts the brain's ability to sense what's going on accurately in the rest of the body? That's a pretty good message, yes? Yes or yes? Okay. Now, do I think that one message is all of a sudden going to create a beeline to your office? Not necessarily. But what if tomorrow they learned that the best doctor gives the least medicine? That's a pretty good message. Is that congruent with your philosophy? Yeah. Okay. And what if the next day we shared with them that health is your natural state of being? Huh? I got the normal headaches. What are you talking about? And maybe the next day we talked about, hey, did you know that investing in your health versus overpaying for sickness, that chiropractic might be the right choice for you? Huh? Might this be a way to inspire people to understand who you are, what you do, and the value of working with you before they ever set foot in your practice? I mean, wouldn't that be kind of cool? I think of myself sometimes as the hardest working lazy guy you've ever met. And what I mean by that is, I work very hard. But if there's an easier way to do it, I would like to find it. Is that a crazy attitude to have? Okay. So, being in practice, how many of you, bless you, how many of you get frustrated with the fact that you've got people coming in for pain relief? Now, people coming in for pain relief are looking for what? Pain relief. Yes? Okay. So, they're coming in with an attitude of, how long do I have to be here? Can't you just crack my neck and can I get out of here? Am I right? That's pretty much their general belief for the most part. And then you do your exam, your report of findings, great communication skills, and then they have to think about it. I calculated one time, I think we had about 8 hours of labor between creating files, putting the files away, calling them up, doing the exam, doing the x-rays, marking the x-rays, the whole thing. It was some crazy amount of time for somebody to tell me they're going to think about it. Yes? Anybody ever feel like I put in all that work and you're going to go back to your... I think that's crazy. So I'm thinking, what if people actually decided that they wanted my care before they even stepped foot? That the issue was not whether or not they wanted my care plan or not, that they already understood the philosophy of what it is that we do. The only question was really, well, how often do I have to be here? Right? Because the idea is not to convert people that don't believe in what we do or aren't interested in what we do. It's to attract people that actually feel the same way we do. They just never understood that we were the solution to what they already believe. Here's our way to share that message each and every day in your community so that people walk in wanting what it is that we do. Well, look, most of us recommend, in many cases, long-term care plans. Most of us try to recite Stevenson's principle number 6. Hey, did you know there's no process that does not require time? These are the types of messages that appeal to daily people in the real world. Yes or yes? Right? It's Nike's Just Do It, but with our spin. Okay? So, the habits that took you years to build do not take a day to change. It's a subconscious way of saying, look, this didn't just happen yesterday. It's going to take us some time to get there. Here are some new ones I think that recently came out to me. By releasing stress from the nervous system, chiropractic permits the immune system to function more effectively with the resource. Right? So what if we kept putting these messages out on a daily basis? Tens of thousands of us on a daily basis. What do you think might happen then? Okay? Chiropractic embraces the science of life, the knowledge of how organisms act in health and disease, and also the art of adjusting the neuroskeleton. Now, do I think any one of these is going to create an endless stream of new patients? No. Do I think dripping them out each and every day is going to lead to more people being aware of you, more of the right people being aware of you? I do. Dr. Mark. Thank you. Pay you later. Anybody else want to make a few bucks? No, I'm just kidding. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes. It's one of the slides. I will answer it now, though, which is A, how frequently, and B, when. My belief is minimum once a day. If you're looking for the baseline, be like, what can I do the least to get away with? My optimum is typically 3 times a day, and the answer is usually breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the reason is because people check Facebook at different times. It's a news feed. So real people with real jobs, not chiropractors, don't sit on Facebook throughout the day in many cases. And they check it before they go to work, they check it at lunchtime, they check it in the evening, either at dinner time, dessert time, after the kids go to sleep, and so on. So in many cases, they may miss what you posted earlier in the day, but will catch it later. Great question. So we are in the 3 types of posts. And if you want to get started, then this is the website you want to go to. Again, everything I'm sharing with you is 100% free. There's no cost, there's no tricks, there's no anything. This is a free resource for the profession. So that's the website. I'm going to show you a quick video to show you more about the big idea.
What if there was an easy way to share the message of chiropractic, to empower people around the world to live better lives? Is it really possible for the entire planet to hear and adopt the message of chiropractic, vitalism, and true health? Well, the simple answer is yes. But how will we do it? Research tells us when 18% of a culture understands and embraces a common message, it creates a tipping point. That critical point when a new idea goes from a rare phenomenon to an unstoppable movement. By creating a community of people dedicated to sharing the message of chiropractic with others every day, that 18% tipping point is within reach. Amplified is that community. It's a place where you can have free access to fun, engaging, and thoughtful media. Share the message of chiropractic and vitalism through your own social media channels. Submit posts that can be shared across the network. Invite others to join in and get our chiropractic message amplified. Here's how it works. To join, simply click the Become an Amplifier button and enter your information. Then register all your social networking channels and start checking our showcase and newsfeed daily for new posts to share on all of your social networks. Got something to say? Amplified is the place to let your voice be heard and get credit for doing it. You can upload your content to share with other amplifiers and their social media channels. Finally, click Invite so others in your social networks can join in spreading the message even further. As a part of the Amplified community, you will connect with others around the globe, and together we will share one voice, spreading the powerful message of vitalism and chiropractic to the 18% and beyond. Now is the time to be heard. Let's turn it up. Welcome to Amplified, the social network dedicated to changing the world for the better.
Okay, so here's where the magic begins. I know everybody's like, okay, so what do I do? What do I do? Here's where the magic begins. 1, you create a free account. 2, you connect your practice's social networks to your account. You can have multiple Facebook pages, multiple Twitter accounts, your LinkedIn account. You connect. The first time you register, it might take you 3 to 5 minutes. You do need to know your passwords for Facebook and so on and so forth. You create a free account. You connect all of your practice's social networks to your free Amplified account. Once you've done that the first time, then basically every day you can go shopping for free for whichever posts appeal to you. It's the largest database or library of great free content for you to choose from. And when you do, you click this blue share button. This appears. If you want to customize whatever the templated information is in there, if you want to add your phone number, you want to add your website, you want to add some sort of call to action, if you just want to leave it the way it is, whichever you choose, you win. If you wanted to only pick 1 or 2 of these versus all of them that you had, you can uncheck any of these. And if you want to schedule it for later on, up to 7 days in advance, you can. Or you click Share Now, and bam, it appears right on your practice's Facebook page instantly for free. Yes, sir. Yep. Yep. We put it in there. We put everything in there. So literally, it's the click of a button. If you wanted to personalize it, you could. It's an optional. If you wanted to spend an extra 7 seconds, you could. Yes. Isn't it great? Yes. We do, and it's our professional service to the profession. This is my mission. When you come tomorrow, I'll give you a little bit more of my background. It's your account if you want to share it with your office manager. If you have an office email account, that may be the one. It all depends on who you want to control it. So you can only connect, this is a good question, you can only connect one Facebook page to one account. So if you have an office email, that might be the way to go. If you want to be the one to pick and choose what's shared every day, you do it. If you want your office manager to pick and choose, you have them do it. Okay, and if you ever changed your mind, you cancel your account, start a new one, reconnect it. Yes. Yes, you do. You have to create a free account and then create a free personal account and then a business account. Yes, you do. You don't have to accept anybody as a friend that would have access to your personal information. Questions? We got a lot to cover in a short period of time. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yep. Great question. Terrific. So, and I'm going to speed up because we got a lot to cover in a few minutes left. So the answer to your question is it depends on if you are actively managing your page. If you do actively manage your page, then you should allow people the opportunity to leave comments because that creates engagement. If you find what you would call a troll, okay, and there's a difference between a cynic and a skeptic. All right, to me, skeptics are healthy questions. Cynics are somebody like a troll who just wants to bust your chops. You can ban them. All right, so they don't have access to posting anything or sharing anything whatsoever. Other questions before we move on? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. I'm going to answer that in the next few minutes. Perfect question. I appreciate you asking. So here we go. And I encourage all of you, if you want to do it in real time, I'll be here afterwards answering questions, but this is the process of registering. You go to the previous website. You add whatever channels you want to. There are 3 ways in which you'll receive information. 1, you can go to the site anytime you want to for free, any time of day or night, in your underwear, whenever you feel like it. Pick and choose whatever you want to. Okay? 2, for those that that's too much for, we send out a daily digest email to your email address, whichever your registered email address is. In that email are the top posts that have been shared over the last 24 to 48 hours to make it even more convenient so you don't even have to go to the website. Okay? To fully answer your question, in that email you will find a variety of different things, some of which might be offered to you. And the deal here is that if you're going to buy something, you may consider buying it from that email to support the free professional service. This is my contribution to the profession. It costs a fortune in order to be able to run. Might be nice to recoup a couple bucks every once in a while. You will see ads in that daily digest email. Just like Facebook is a free resource, you see some ads. Ignore the ads all you want to. Participate in them all you want to. That is the way that we support the free service. And 3, we have a mobile app. So you can just do it from your phone, at the beach, wherever and whenever you want to. So those are the 3 ways that information is delivered to you. And all you got to do is find your favorite post, decide whether you do or do not want to change the content, either schedule it, share it, and you are good to go. You can share, as I said, up to 7 days in advance. And there you have it. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, one click. I don't know if people know, but I thought this was an interesting statistic. On average, 44% of Facebook users like content posted by friends at least once a day. 44% of people on Facebook click the like button once a day on something. This is how you become a referral machine, how you use this tool as a referral machine. The key to everything, however, and I've heard this question several times starting at the beginning, is how do you get people to stop? How do you get more people there? The answer is you got to share good stuff. I'm offering free x-rays next week is not going to do it. But that's what most of us fall victim to is, well, we need more new patients. Tell them we're going to have some sort of special offer next week. That's not what's going to get people to stop. It's not what's going to get people to share. Great content will. So the first type was what? Inspiration, a daily dose of inspiration. The second type of post is sharing stuff about your practice. This is going to get people to stop. Yes or yes? If you're one of Brad's patients or clients and you see something like this, you're going to go, what's that crazy guy up to again? And you may even go so far, if you follow the recommendations I'm going to make as we close, to follow Brad's recommendation, which is when you see something fun and interesting, please consider liking it, leaving a comment, or sharing it with your friends. And I'll go through that in a minute. We talked about some of the all-stars that Brad works with. So again, follow all laws, but this is the way you get people to stop and pay attention. You want to get more people to your events? Post them. You want to make it even better? Put short videos or video invitations and have a good time. People aren't just buying chiropractic, they are buying you. Connect with your people. Love your people. This is just a more convenient way for you to love people one to many. If you're standing in front of them, it's easy. You give them a hug, you love them. You can love lots of people at one time from the convenience of the beach or vacation or anywhere you'd like to. Is that pretty cool? There's perhaps a new way of thinking about not just a marketing tool, but a way to really connect with your community and build an unstoppable movement. Yes? Making some sense? All right. And if you recommend other things, again, if we want people to think of chiropractic as a lifestyle, we might want to present lifestyle-oriented information. And I'm going to close by explaining to you how you build your network. That's step 3. If you recommend different things, look at how many people in their practice get questions every single day. What should I sleep on? What should I eat? What should I drink? What should I take? What stretch should I do? All day, every day. Yes or yes? So why can't the answer be? That's a great question. In fact, we have a great resource center. In fact, we told you about it. Here's another card. We have a wellness resource center where we share with you all of our favorite recommendations, as well as the recommendations of people who come here in our practice on a regular basis. You should check it out. Click the like button. You're going to see a daily dose of inspiration. And you asked me about what pillow, mattress, supplement, whatever they're asked, stretch. We have a whole library at our Wellness Resource Center. Here's the card to find it. Check it out. And if you have a question that's not answered there, please make sure you ask me on your next visit so we can make sure that we post that as well. Easy? Free? What did that also just do? When we get questions in our practice each and every day, we screw up at one of two ends. Either you spend way too much time. Oh, my favorite stretch? Oh, let me show you. Hold on. So what I do is, right, you got a line of people. And you overserve because you want to serve. You want to answer the question. And your CAs are going crazy because you're getting backed up because you're answering the question. Or you do the opposite, right? Oh, who's my favorite massage therapist? Mary, go ask for the card at the front desk. See you later. Right? Instead of creating perhaps a video with Mary, your favorite massage therapist, who you say, this is Mary. Mary's been a long-time client here at the practice. She's my favorite massage therapist because she understands the relationship of the spine, the nerve system, the muscles. She understands the connection, how to support your chiropractic care, and the connection and relationship of overall health and well-being and function with the nervous system. We love referring to people who understand the big idea. So if you have questions about massage, you should work with Mary. Her information is below. And thanks for watching. If you have other questions about where you should go, who you should see, or what you should do, please make sure you check out the other resources here on this Facebook page. And then you take that video and do what? Give it to Mary. Why? What's Mary going to do with it? Share it with everybody she knows because the best chiropractor in town thinks that she's terrific. Yes or yes? Easy, free. If you have one of these and about 2 minutes, some decent lighting and quiet, and something to hold it on so it doesn't move, you've just created yourself a perfect video studio. Are we good? Okay. And here would be an example of exactly that. So let's keep going. The answer to your question was, share inspirational posts 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you want to add an optional link or message, great. Office updates, do them when are appropriate. If you're doing upcoming events, if you want to look to book events, make it available. Hey, we're booking out our fall quarter for on-location presentations. Ask us on your next visit or click the link below to find out if your business qualifies or your association qualifies. We'll let you know if we have room in our schedule to be able to present to your group, business, or organization. We'd love to serve our community. Right? Because we're not going to remember to say that each and every visit, are we? All right. And then number 3, doctor's recommendations when appropriate. So how do you build your social network? I basically just gave you a preview. 1, you make sure that when people get there, they understand the value of your Facebook page. They understand that you are serious about serving. They understand that you actually have very great information to provide for them. And here's where they can find it. Is this different than this? Somebody comes here, they go, oh, they're into that Facebook marketing thing. Somebody comes here, they go, wow, they really want to be of service. Yes, sir. Yes. In a very presentable way. Absolutely. And I do recommend, we call these fan page postcards. I recommend you creating something that looks good on quality paper, that's highly visual, that gives them literally step-by-step instructions on how to join your wellness center. So watch. Enjoy a daily dose of inspiration. Does that sound like an advertisement to you? Does somebody go, stop selling me? Does somebody have any resistance to wanting to receive a daily dose of inspiration? Is there anything in there that's not, I love you and want to serve you? Good, right? Okay. Hey, enjoy the good life. Here's how Facebook can be good for you. Huh? Facebook? Good for me? What do? Give them your Facebook URL, and you want to give them step-by-step instructions. This is critically important. This is the difference between done and done well. Click the like button. Click the drop-down menu so that you get notifications. This is a huge secret. Huge secret. Everybody has concerns. I get lots of people to my Facebook page. If they don't come back, not everybody sees it. If you can get them to click get notifications, and if you teach them to do it, more people will do it, then when you post, they will be notified. It's a game changer. Give them a presentable card and then enjoy our daily posts. And remember to like, comment, and share. If you want people to do something, you have to what? Teach them and or ask them to do it. All right? So, I paraphrased this just a few moments ago. Let's do it real quick as we close. You're going to make this thing look terrific so that people see what it is when you get there. You're going to post at least one thing great about the chiropractic lifestyle to your practice of social networks each and every day. All right? Now the question is, how do you get as many people there as possible? I said to you, if I gave you a free television station, would you take it? Hopefully the answer is yes, but it would still be worthless unless you built an audience of people to watch your programs. Right? So now we have to build the audience. The problem is you can't build an audience if you don't have anything good there and if it looks ridiculous. So we are making step 1 and step 2 as easy as possible. There's some effort in 3. Is that my sign to get off? Okay. There's some effort in 3. Thank you. I saw 5 minutes, and that's all I saw. I apologize. So let's close out. This is your gift to your community. This is your way of saying, I've got something to share with you. I've got something of interest that will change your life. Please go there. Please check it out. And when you do, if you see something interesting, please click the like button. If there's something that's there that you feel inspired by, please leave a comment. And if you know somebody that you think would benefit from this information, please share it with others. Can you do that? All right. So let's wrap up. Every single one of these people and every line that you go to that's staring at every one of these stupid little things should be seeing your message. When you or they think of Facebook, they should be thinking of you. They should be seeing your daily dose of inspiration and know they should be sharing it with their social networks. It's as easy as 1, 2, and 3. I hope you'll take the information and do something with it. I hope you will realize that this is a way to build an unstoppable movement. Please join me tomorrow after Dr. Gilles in the morning. I said it before, I'll say it again because he's in the room. Rolly, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for having me on the island. It's a pleasure. I don't think I've ever met a nicer group of people. Thanks for loving what I love. I appreciate it. You know what? I think we can do this thing. Do you? I think that It's as easy as clicking a button each and every day to share our mission with our local community, and collectively, I'm inspired by what's possible. I love you. Have a great night. Thank you.